has seen Nigeria raising and planting close to 80% of the total number across the country.
Nigeria restates commitment to protecting biodiversity and mitigating climate change as UNESCO invites President Buhari to 75th anniversary in Paris. Implementation of Petroleum Industry Act, NMPC perfect strategy for prudence in portfolio management.
The national security of any country is underpinned by the robustness and the strength of its energy security.
Also tonight, reception and consideration of 2022 Appropriations Bill as top priority as National Assembly resumes from recess. Good evening, this is NTA Network News. We are live in Abuja. I am Kenan Ima Abodike. Hengino John Adams will be joining us from our Lagos studio. Let's start from the presidential villa, where the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, has extended a formal invitation to President Muhammadu Buhari to the 75th anniversary of its founding, scheduled for November in Paris, France. Director General of the organization, Audrey Azoulay, handed over the invitation during a courtesy visit to the president. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the report.
The Director General of UNESCO, Audrey Azoulay, is in Abuja for the 33rd session of the International Coordinating Council of the Man and the Biosphere Program. She was in the State House to formally invite President Muhammadu Buhari for the 75th anniversary celebration of the organization in the French capital Paris in November this year.
So honored to have you. Okay. I'll talk to the ambassador, to your foreign minister, but it would be an honor to have you.
President Buhari and the UNESCO team had earlier discussed ways and means of enhancing the highly beneficial relationship between Nigeria and the UN organ. Records show that UNESCO has been committed to ensuring everyone's access to quality education, preserving cultural and natural heritage, protecting equal respect for all cultures and freedom of expression as a fundamental right and a necessary condition for democracy. Nigeria joined UNESCO in November 1960, becoming its 58th member state. It has 10 World Heritage Sites in the country, with Sukur Cultural Landscape in Adamawa State as the first landmark to be inscribed in 1999. The UNESCO Director General was accompanied to the State House by Nigeria's ambassador and permanent delegate to the organization, Dr. Hajo Sani. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In a related development, President Muhammadu Buhari had, in a message delivered by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boz Mustafa, said Nigeria remains committed to global efforts at protecting biodiversity and mitigating climate change. This was at the opening of UNESCO's Map and Biosphere International Coordinating Conference in Abuja. Metari Ibn reports.
More than 8,500 plant and animal species are threatened with extinction globally, mostly due to deforestation activities to pave way for urbanization. Climate change also has huge impact on biodiversity loss, hence the need for this 33rd session of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program, holding for the first time on Nigerian and African soil. The Nigerian government lists notable measures towards reversing biodiversity loss in the country, to include accelerating the cleanup of Ogoni land in the Niger Delta, securing more biosphere reserves in other parts of the country, as well as aggressive implementation of the Great Green Wall program.
I made a pledge at the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly that Nigeria will plant 25 million trees nationwide. This pledge has seen Nigeria raising and planting close to 80% of the total number across the country.
Mr. President also approved the establishment of 10 new additional national parks across the ecological zones of the country.
UNESCO's Director General Audrey Azoulay and Nigeria's permanent delegate to UNESCO, Hajo Sani, reminded delegates from 34 member states of United Nations target for 30% of planet Earth to be covered by protected areas.
We can create more biosphere reserves with our member states and even trans-border biosphere reserves.
A clear look at the agenda of this session depicts a rich program which many important and crucial decisions on environmental actions for our planet will be taken.
There is consensus that the COVID-19 pandemic makes it imperative for global efforts at reuniting humanity and nature. From the State House, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In the meantime, the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, are seeking to scale up interventions towards improving girl-child education and other less privileged children in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. This was part of the outcome of the meeting between the First Lady of Nigeria and Director General of UNESCO, Audrey Azoulay. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
The Director General of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, was on a courtesy call on the First Lady at the sideline of the 33rd International Coordinating Council of UNESCO Man and the Biosphere program currently taking place in Abuja. The First Lady has told the DG on the giant stride of the Future Assured program under the Aisha Buhari Foundation, particularly the tremendous success in the areas of improving the education, health and the general well-being of women and children. Mrs. Buhari added that our focus is to accelerate an effort towards equipping Nigerian women, youth and children with quality education for a better future as one of the cardinal objectives of the Aisha Buhari Foundation.
I am glad to inform you that education is one of my foundation's areas of focus. Promoting girl-child education and educating less privileged children are major parts of my foundation's activities. I am pleased to inform you that I've just built a school in Maiduguri, Borno State, to cater for the needs of the teeming population of orphans and other victims of insurgency in the state. The aim is to provide such children with opportunity to have access to quality education that will transform and prepare them for productive life.
The Director General has commended the First Lady for the support she has been given to the less privileged and urged her to sustain the tempo and ensure everybody is getting involved in the protection of nature and sustainable economy.
Your commitment to health issue, to children, to education, to women's and children's rights. And one of the challenges that touches upon all these issues is the question of biodiversity and the loss of biodiversity and the consequences it has on the most vulnerable.
Highlight of the event was the presentation of a handmade traditional attires showcasing the occupation and the rich cultural heritage of the country. From the State House, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
Away from the State House now, the need for more commitment from governments, individuals and corporate organizations towards the promotion of live theatre has again been made at a musical stage play depicting the life and travels of late Chief Obafemi Awolowo held at the historical Glover Hall in Lagos. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, accompanied by his wife Dolabo, attended the event. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
If you are not sure of where you are going, look back to where you are coming from to get inspiration, guidance, and direction. This is one of Nigeria's wise sayings as the writer and producer of the play Awo, Makinde Adeniro, tries to link the past to the present to create a better future for the people of the country, especially the young ones. And he says the intention is the need to begin re-engineering the system about leadership and the person of Awo, representing the old political figures.
And that's the target, to be able to let the younger ones see these leaders that have gone in the past what they have done. What were the things they faced?
Makinde says there is no telling the story of these past leaders without taking a look at their support pillars, which come from the wives and children, relatives, friends, and political associates.
After all, power is what we seek. Humanity is value that transcends time and power. And that is what should taunt our consciences to ensure that Nigeria stays together, not the numbers in politics.
When and how did we get here? But that is how it is in politics. We win some, we lose some.
Telling the story from the role of the home front, in this case, Anna Titolu, gives it a bit of romantic approach.
I am not sleeping with anyone to free my husband.
You are my jewel of inestimable value.
Tonight, we've witnessed that beyond that cap, he was a man who wore many caps.
The play was staged by the Duke of Shomoli Productions. Jude Onifate, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has re-echoed Nigeria's strength as a force to be reckoned with. In an exclusive interview, the minister said Nigeria's strength on the African continent paved way for other African ministers attending the 64th UNWTO CAF meeting in Cape Verde to rally behind Nigeria's submission, as it further showcased other government programs and policies which sister African countries can benefit from. Anthony Fulton reports.
It's a tradition that at fora such as this, an agenda for deliberation is often set. But with hindsight, Lai Mohammed played up 3 issues: the liberalization of COVID-19 vaccine, airline connectivity within Africa, and travel advisory by developed countries.
The African ministers spoke with one voice to ask that there should be more equitable distribution of vaccines if we are going to revive the industry post-COVID. Of course, the issue of connectivity that I explained to you was also discussed, and it was resolved that it's a matter that African ministers should take up seriously, because as you can see, it will take us 3 days to get home, and this applies to virtually every African minister. As a matter of fact, it's easier to go through Madrid or through Lisbon from Cape Verde than to go through Dakar or go through Lomé. And of course, the issue of travel advisories was also discussed extensively. The second day was devoted really to investments, and we had many investors and many investing companies that came to Sao Island to see how they can invest in the tourism industry of the various countries.
Nigeria's creative industry, which is a strong selling point, was also played up.
We're talking about our music, we're talking about our films, we're talking about our architecture, we're talking about our museums. And here I was able to engage several prospective investors to come and invest, especially in production, in channels, and also in content development.
The ongoing digitization of the broadcast space in Nigeria, which is the pivot upon which the creative industry strides, was put on the table for prospective investors.
With the DSO, we are confident not only of raising advert revenue from $300 million in 1 year to $1 billion, but also that we can create about 1 million jobs in the next 3 years, with the completion of the DSO. So we marketed DSO really in the area of content development.
Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Turning now to the legislature, where the National Assembly is set to reconvene after 2 months of its annual recess, with the reception and consideration of the 2022 Appropriations Bill as its immediate priority. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that in preparation for the presentation of the budget, Both chambers of the National Assembly had, during this recess, scrutinized the medium-term expenditure framework and the fiscal strategy paper.
Thursday, July 15, 2021, was the last plenary before the Senate embarked on its 2021 annual recess, while that of the House of Representatives was the next day, being 16th. Both chambers had considered and passed the Petroleum Industry and the Electoral Act Amendment bills. 2 months after, both chambers are set to reconvene on Tuesday, 14th of August 2021, with all departments of the National Assembly bracing up for legislative activities. Reception of the 2022 budget from Mr. President and accelerated consideration of the ongoing constitutional amendment are expected to receive immediate attention.
The meeting will resume on Tuesday. Will be that of the budget 2022. We'll be looking forward to hearing from the President the date he would come to address the joint session of the National Assembly and present his bill, the 2022 appropriation bill.
We are working around the air to make sure that nothing stops us from maintaining these, the 12-month budget cycle, January to December, unlike what was applicable before we came on board. So we're very much ready.
Before we went on recess, we're already working on the constitutional review, and it has gotten to a point that right now the Senate and the House of Rep, we are harmonizing, the two positions. So I expect that too will be concluded.
The National Assembly is also expected to continue with legislative interventions on national security. This is the first time in more than 18 years that the National Assembly will be reconvening from its annual recess without the Petroleum Industry Bill forming part of its to-do list. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
NTA Network News continues after this timeout. Do stay with us.
Mr. Kaku like to Kaku. Every day must do Kaku. Yeah, if you want me go Kaku. If you want save me go Kaku. Every time he like to reason. Even free things he go by easy. Glow is there for you in every season. You don't have to over easy.
You don't have to be a Mr. Kaku when it comes to data. Get a Glow MiFi for 12,000 Naira and get up to 60 gigabytes data free.
The federal government, through NPHCDA, commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Wow Wash and Win Millions promo. Millions of Naira, daily prizes, and a million Wow sachets are up for grabs. Buy Wow now. Offer valid till October 25th, 2021.
Dances that create wow performances. And for many stains, we need wow. Amazing washing power. Each wow pack gets a lot of clothes clean and fresh. Wow. Washes a lot, saves a lot.
I did look for pension fund administrator. We're soft, make sense, we care for me. Shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Yes,
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets. With Panadol's Optizol formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Caplets.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, cordially invites the general public to a special town hall meeting to address the vandalization of power and telecommunications infrastructure in the country. Date, Thursday, 23rd September 2021. Venue, Banquet Hall, Government House, Maiduguri, Borno State. Time, 10 a.m. Chief host, His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, Executive Governor of Borno State. Announcer, Dr. Mrs. Ifoma Otaku, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
He's a very tough guy who knocks out every opponent. But now he's been knocked down by malaria.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel makes treating malaria easy. Amatem Soft Gel is a game changer.
The opponent is down. Amatem Soft Gel are good to combat malaria for body.
Available for adults and children. Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
Welcome back as we'll take you to the judiciary. Although corruption is being alleged to have infiltrated all sectors of the Nigerian society, the Court of Appeal has indicated its resolve to nip in the bud unethical practices among its judicial officers. The President of the Court, Justice Monica Domban-Mensem, gave the indication at the commencement of the 2021 legal year of the Appellate Court. Olabode Arewa reports.
This inspection of a parade of colors mounted in honor of the President's Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Domban-Mensem, and other justices signals the commencement of the 2021 legal year at the Appellate Courts. And with the ceremonies over, the important business of the day begins. Firing the first shot, the President of the Court of Appeal outlines successes recorded by the various divisions of the courts in the last legal year, despite challenges posed by COVID-19.
This week, the court will conduct special sittings of justices to help us further deconject the Abuja division and enhance its optimal functionality.
Touching on the uproar generated by the recent ex parte orders granted by some courts, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, admonishes judicial officers to ensure their actions deepen public confidence in the judiciary.
I respectfully urge my lords to maintain the sanctity and credibility of the court and to ensure that the sacred integrity reposed on your lordships remains unshaken.
When we talk about judges, let's also talk about we lawyers who carry these matters to court because we've been paid to do these matters.
In the last legal year, 5,000.
In security, officers and men of the Medium Security Custodial Center, Kaba, Kogi State, are yet to recover from the traumatic experience which followed last night's attack on the center by a group of people yet to be identified. Controller General of the Nigeria Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, on assessment of the center, commiserated with the Nigerian Army and Police for the loss of a soldier and policeman during the attack. Rotimi Ebo completes the report.
NTA News gathered that the unfortunate incident occurred at about 11:45 p.m. of last night when the group, identified as unknown gunmen, launched an attack on the security checkpoint around the custodial center and later broke the entrance door to gain access into the center. A soldier and a policeman, according to the information received, lost their lives during the attack, while 2 officers of the correctional center are yet to be accounted for. Controller General of Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, was on ground to assess the situation.
To thank the military authorities and as well as commiserate the Nigerian Army as well as the families of the deceased. As at now, Investigation is ongoing.
Kogi State Commissioner of Police, who also visited the center, declined comment. Established in 2008 with a capacity of 200, the Security Custodial Center at the time of attack had 294 inmates in its custody, out of which 224 were pre-trial detainees with 70 convicted inmates. On Kaba Security Custodial Center, Rotimebu, NTA News.
25 young influencers from across Nigeria have been selected to help with ideas to drive an empowerment initiative by the European Union. The European Union Youth Sounding Board was inaugurated in Abuja by the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Diary. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
An interaction with some of those expected to shape the future of Nigeria and their aspirations.
I would like to be part of the maybe fashion industry.
Making these dreams come true are empowerment initiatives by the European Union in the area of green and digital economy, human development, as well as government peace and migration.
It also goes without saying that the future of this country will largely depend on the ability of governments and ourselves assisting the government to provide young Nigerians with opportunities for education and employment.
This, the Minister of Youth and Sports say, is in tandem with the federal government policies in the area of youth development.
Beginning today, and after the approval of Mr. President, exactly 1 month from today, we hope to have the first National Youth Conference, National Youth Confab, that will have 370 Nigerian youth under one roof, meeting for 4 days, to speak to 4 thematic areas.
The European Union wants the youth to drive the process using their ideas, so a youth global sounding board is inaugurated. This means that these 25 youth ambassadors, who are also influencers in their respective domain, put on the table the aspirations of other youths in driving the initiatives. In Abuja, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Gombe State government is seeking support of federal government in fixing a critical infrastructure that will accelerate economic development in the state. To this end, Governor Muhammadu Inuwayahaya is engaging relevant federal ministries for partnership. Joshua Ojito reports.
Gombe, jewel in the savannah, has a 10-year development plan with provision of infrastructure as one of its pillars. With power and road infrastructure as drivers of the economy, Governor Muhammadu Inuwayahaya is engaging ministers of power as well as works and housing for intervention in bridging the infrastructural gap in the state. Also of concern to the state government is the 40 megawatts Dadinkowa hydro dam already completed. Its inauguration, the governor says, will increase access to electricity in Gombe and environs.
We have road links that are federally owned between Gombe and the remaining 5 states. All those roads that link either through the east, through the west, through the north, through the south, they are being threatened by washouts this year, and they need urgent attention.
We have discussed at length on regarding the issue of the 40 megawatts in Dadinkowa. We are going to look into it and respond back at appropriate time.
With synergy between the state and federal government towards implementation of the 2021 to 2030 development plan, the gains of the partnership will stimulate economic growth of the state.
That report didn't actually land. Please do bear with us. Kano State government has commenced the revocation of illegally acquired or not properly documented property and structures within the metropolitan area for the establishment of mega secondary schools in view of prevailing security challenges coupled with the conjunction of schools in the outskirts of the city. In a statement, the State Commissioner for Information, Malam Muhammad Garba, said the measure is aimed at decongesting the boarding schools across the 36 local government areas following persistent abduction of students from boarding schools in neighboring states. He said while reviewing the security situation in the face of the recent offensive against bandits, kidnappers and other criminals in forests adjoining the state, government would be proactive in adopting measures that would secure schools. The British government is to explore investment opportunities in the areas of mining, agriculture and education in Nasarawa State. British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Lang, disclosed this during a working visit to the state. Aliyu Tijani Mohammed reports.
British High Commissioner to Nigeria was on investment drive to Nasarawa State, and the state government opens her windows to showcase potential of the state to prospective investors.
So we've got a member of my team from Department of International Trade, and I've also got my senior economist with me. And the reason they're on this trip, because they wouldn't come on all the trips, is because that's what, for me, distinguishes Nasarawa. So we will be following up. I've also been asked to follow up on the education side. I was very encouraged to hear the commitment Nasarawa has made to, is it 35% of your GNI on education? So I think Nasarawa can also lead the way on that, and we'll do a lot to connect you up with other education initiatives.
Also showcased were a cultural artifact of the state government and a Doba organized depicting reality of the Lafia Emirate Council. While the British government indicated interest in investing in the agricultural sector, a visit to one of the cassava processing center in Shabu and rice mill in Lafia is considered significant as she interacted with the local processors. Also visited was the Lafia Cargo Bus Terminal, where she promised to facilitate investment in solar-powered project in Lafia. Aliyu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
The efforts of the federal government in enhancing food production and processing has received a boost in Adamawa State, where the senator representing Adamawa Central at the National Assembly, Aisha Dakiru Ahmed Binani, shared 6,000 bags of fertilizer and 500 grinding machines to women and youths. Nafisatu Abdul Hamid reports.
Of fertilizers and grinding machine by the senator representing Adamawa Central, Aisha Tudairu Ahmed Binani, is in line with President Muhammad Buhari's policy to boost agriculture through production and processing for the goods of the nation's economy. The beneficiaries cut across the 7 local government areas of the senatorial zone, with emphasis on women and youth being the backbone of economic development of any society.
That we are moving into agribusiness, the situation where we should produce enough so that we can feed ourselves and also export same.
The senator, who doubled as Senate Committee Chairman on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, urged the beneficiaries to reciprocate the gesture by utilizing the material based on the purpose intended, and promised to continue to cater for the needs of her constituents.
This will no doubt improve both quality and quantity of agricultural products, especially food supply, which is crucial to all of us.
To the beneficiaries, the gesture came at the right time and appreciated the senator for a good job. The lawmaker also used the occasion to call on the citizenry to support the federal government in providing peace, unity, and development in the country. In Yola, Nafisatu Abdul Hamid, NTA News.
3 bodies have been recovered by FCT emergency rescue operations following a flood disaster at Trademore Estate in Luwe after heavy rainfall on Sunday. Eliasu Onotu Yakubu reports.
The search and rescue operation began at about 9 p.m. on the said day as the flood disaster ravaged the entire estate. By 7 a.m., information filtered in that a body was trapped in a vehicle under the river just a couple of 100 meters away from the estate. After about an hour operation, the body was retrieved from the wreckage of the vehicle. 2 other bodies were also said to have been recovered from the riverbank by families of the victims.
The number of houses affected this year are more than the ones that were affected last year. And last year we had only 1 casualty. This year we have 3 so far. We don't know. We are yet to announce in the estate, so that if there's anyone who has not seen a member of his or her family, they should report to the police station so we can continue with the search.
If people should adhere to simple advice and warnings, we won't have much casualties.
The number of houses and vehicles affected in the disaster could not be ascertained yet, as the FCT Directorate of Development Control attributed the disaster to outright violation of Development Master Plan by the developers.
Last year when we had the flood issue here, we came, we mapped, we looked at the hydrology analysis, and we found out that some houses were sitting on waterways. If you watch around that bridge and so on, houses were actually marked.
There's no owner of any house here, or houses, or residents, who actually built any of these houses. The houses were built and sold to us. And as far as we're concerned, approval must have been given.
As at the time of filing this report, the operation is still ongoing by the FEMA Search and Rescue Team to trace more bodies that may not have been accounted for. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
A sad one indeed. Now the federal government has fixed a new date for the Nigeria at 60 Jubilee Special Award Ceremony. A statement from the Office of the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeniyi, says the ceremony, earlier billed for September 3, will take place on Thursday, September 30, 2021. It explains that the award ceremony is planned as part of the Jubilee celebrations of the nation's independence and is designed to honor 60 notable Nigerians who have made impact in the country. We'll take you to Lagos now. Hengino will be guiding us.
Thank you, Kene. Apart from achieving professionalism, authorities of the Nigerian Armed Forces are committed to realizing economic goals, especially along the coastal lines. This was made known at the training of students of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Junior Course 92 2021 at the Western Naval Command, Apapa, Lagos. Olumide Guntola reports.
These officers of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State, Junior Course 92 2021, were at the Western Naval Command, Apapa, on a study visit. The visit is meant to familiarize the students with the operating environment of the Nigerian Navy and also enhance their understanding of the capabilities and utilities of sea power in contemporary warfare. The Flag Officer, Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jasin Bassa, said the exercise will, among other things, offer the students exceptional learning experience that will facilitate development in Nigeria.
When there is a need for a joint operation involving the three services, they have a feel, they know what it takes to ride on a ship and all what it involves to run a ship at sea.
As a military personnel, you must be conversant with the land, sea, the maritime aspect and the air aspect. So this will afford them that opportunity. So that when you are a commander somewhere and there's a requirement for you to cooperate with your naval counterpart, you will have had experience of what it is like.
The exercise is expected to aid the students contribute to national security when deployed to the field on completion of the course. In Lagos, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
It's been a rainy day in Lagos, characterized by flash flood and heavy traffic, leading to loss of man-hours. Students who resumed for another session were not spared. Annie Daniels, who was on the streets of Lagos, reports.
From Obalende to Yaba, Maryland, Ikeja, the story is the same. Rain, rain, and more rains.
Assuming I'm still at home and rain is falling, I'll not come outside.
Typical of Lagos on a day like this. Avoidable traffic.
I'm unable to get to my place of work in time because of the traffic. When I close, I will not get home in time.
Driver will increase their transport here.
People are just turning anyhow because there's nobody to control them over here.
You can imagine what I can hear behind me, cars blowing their horns. This is what you get in Lagos on a day like this. Even the presence of traffic control agents could not abate the traffic.
They won't answer the last man and the policeman because they want to do their own.
And for these pupils, their first day in school after a long break would have been better without the rains that have persisted. Even if they know the safety protocols against COVID-19, none of these pupils and these parents had a face mask on.
I have one in my bag. So before entering the school economy, I have to put it on.
I have face mask in my bag. If I want to enter bank or anywhere, I will put it.
Meanwhile,
It's a different story for this roadside tea seller whose earnest desire is for the rains to persist. In Lagos, Ami Daniels, NTA News.
It's time for another break. The news will be back shortly.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN#. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 109. I can even visit glowworld.com/NIN. And what if you've forgotten your NIN? All you have to do is dial *346# and Glow will help you remember it. Someone may ask, what if I haven't registered? All you have to do is go into the nearest Glow World and we'll help you register. It's that easy. So don't get disconnected from all of the amazing voice and data offers from Glow. Linking your NIN to your Glow lines is simple, safe, and 100% free with zero hassles.
I have got my car for full body work.
Madam, look, we will shine this car.
Wait. This cough doesn't sound good at all. What are you doing about it?
Oga doesn't want to go to the hospital so that they won't say he has COVID-19.
No, now. Cough is a sign of different infections, including tuberculosis. You would only know which cough it is if you go for testing.
Kai, I've been coughing for more than 2 weeks now.
There's no need to fear. I have done this test myself. To know the right treatment for the particular cough you have, you must first get tested.
Oga Chekamo, make you dey sure. Because
who no go?
No go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Make you dey sure. If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB tests and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 for information on where to get the test. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people.
Take this, Mom. You will need it.
My tongue is craving something. Wonder what it is. Twisco. That's my favorite.
Twisco chocolate drink powder is a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt fortified with Enafort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Mommy, let's
Twisco, power your dream.
The Ministry of Information and Culture, in collaboration with the management and staff of the News Agency of Nigeria, heartily announces the renaming of NAN headquarters as Wadameda House in honor of its one-time Editor-in-Chief, Pioneer Managing Director, and Chairman Board of Directors, the late Malam Wada Abdullahi Maida, OON FNGE. Date, September 16, 2021. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, NAN headquarters, Central Business District, Abuja.
Chief Host, Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Chief Guest of Honor, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, Executive Governor, Katsina State. Royal Father of the Day, Emir of Katsina, Alhaji Dr. Abdul Mumin Kabir Osman, OFR. Citation will be delivered by Senator Ibrahim Ida, OFR, Sedona, Katsina.
Buki Ponle, Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, Announcer.
Welcomes you back to school. Have a session filled with lots of fun and excitement. Stay safe, stay healthy. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
We don't like to eat better. More nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr cubes. That's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic. And enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you. And more delicious, too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Welcome back. Report reaching us says President Muhammadu Buhari Monday evening granted audience to his Sierra Leonean counterpart, President Julius Maada Bio. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the Sierra Leonean leader is in Abuja on a 2-day private visit. The two leaders met behind closed doors for about 1 hour, but details of their discussions were not made public. The last formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Sierra Leonean leader was in September 2019 on the margins of the UN General Assembly in New York. A 5-year draft national development plan ready to promote growth as investors lose 3.2 billion naira to open the week negative at the close of trading in the equities market. Musa Abubakar has details on business news.
Thank you, Kenneth. The draft Development Plan 2021 to 2025 aims at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty and ensure economic stability is ready. To this end, the federal government has commenced the process of its validation by ministries, departments and agencies under the chairmanship of Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa.
Today's validation exercise is therefore designed for all of us to review the extent to which our inputs have been captured in the draft.
It is also important to inform that the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 provides for implementation of major infrastructure and other development projects across the geopolitical zones and opening up of opportunities for the rural areas to ensure inclusive development and increased competitiveness.
Now to stock is a negative close for investors at the equities market after it endured a bearish posture last week. The all-share index declined 0.02% at 38,915.62 basis points. A market capitalization at 20.2 trillion naira. 201.1 million shares worth 2.5 billion naira were traded in 3,340 deals. The financial services industry dominated the activity chart, led by Universal Insurance PLC, Fidelity Bank, and FBN Holdings PLC. Well, that ends business news. It's back to you, Kenneth.
Thank you very much, Musa. As the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) transits under the Petroleum Industry Act to a commercial entity, the need for more prudence in portfolio management has been re-echoed. The Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, reiterates this as the only way to create, deliver and capture value for Nigerians to whom the NNPC belongs. Lydia Sampson reports.
It is an annual interface to take stock and chart a new way forward for GMD Mele Kyari, who joined virtually. The National Petroleum Investment Management Services (NAPIMS), one of the subsidiaries of NNPC, under the PIA, must continue to thrive in line with the transparency and accountability stance of the organization. His sentiments are also captured by Tajuddin Umar, board member of NNPC.
There is no human problem that does not have a solution. Though total revenues have gone down from about 4.7 to 2.7 trillion. NAPIMS has still managed to have a reasonable profit.
For Balawumti, Group General Manager NAPIMS has the foot soldiers theme, must ensure successful implementation through cross-pollination of best practices amongst all key players to attain energy security.
The national security of any country is underpinned by the robustness and the strength of its energy security. Without energy security, you can never achieve food security, you cannot achieve industrial security.
The various speakers are optimistic that with a renewed commitment from all, the PIA will be instrumental in repositioning the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And to aviation, where the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) has directed foreign airlines operating into the country to allow passengers traveling to Nigeria who are unable to show evidence of payment for day 7 COVID-19 PCR test or generate paid QR code or permit to fly or to board their flight. The granting of the temporary permit is due to the difficulties being experienced by travelers to Nigeria in trying to fill health and travel history into the country's Nigeria International Travel Portal. A statement by Director General NCAA Captain Musa Nuhu says such passengers will be required to make payment for the repeated day 7 COVID-19 tests at their destination airport in Nigeria. We'll take another round of commercials. Do stay with us.
Job creation, skill acquisition, and innovation among Nigerian teeming youth, and access to credit facilities by the present administration. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week, bridging the gap of unemployment and strengthening poverty reduction in Nigeria. Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Not all washing powders are the same. Sunlight adds bursts of freshness to cleaning power to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and freshness that lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1, sensational cleaning with burst after burst of freshness. Introducing Sunlight with luxurious oud fragrance.
After a surprise loss in the first match of the season, the citizens have hot their campaign back on track. Will they continue in their winning form or can they be stopped? Find out this Saturday as Manchester City welcome Southampton to the Etihad Stadium on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu, empowered by Integral.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until one day, James discovered something big. He can finally say, our home, our football.
Get GoTV plus 1 month max subscription for only 6,900 naira. You fit enjoy the Abuja football leagues where day, plus better cup competitions this football season. GoTV, love it.
Thank you for staying with us. Bade Adeleye is ready with Sports Update.
Many thanks, Kenny. Welcome to Sports Update. Participants are still relishing their experience at the just concluded Armed Forces Inter-Service Marathon in Abuja. 60 athletes from the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy and the Nigerian Air Force ran from the starting point in Dede along Kubwa Expressway, with the race terminating at the Aguiyi Sports Complex. The event also served as qualifiers for the upcoming Sahel Military Games.
We will not allow them to come to Nigeria and dominate us.
This is my first. They can still train me more. I think I can improve more than this.
To volleyball now, Nigeria will face the Democratic Republic of Congo in the 7th to 8th position match at the ongoing 2021 Africa Seniors Nations Championship in Rwanda after going down 3-0 to the host in the 5th to 6th classification match on Monday. The coach Usman Abdullahi boys lost the first set 25-17, the second 25-22, and the third 25-17. Let's talk football now. Ahead of the Aisha Buhari Invitational Football Tournament, which kicks off this Wednesday in Lagos, some of the teams have arrived Nigeria's economic capital. The first team to arrive was Nigeria's opponents in the opening match, Morocco. They were followed by the Malian team, who are also in Nigeria's group. Also in the country are the Black Queens of Ghana, who will face Cameroon and South Africa in Group B. The Aisha Buhari Cup is slated for the 15th to 21st of September at the Agege Stadium and Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Lagos. Away from Nigeria now, the last match day for encounter of the Premier League between Everton and Burnley just ended with the Toffees winning 3-1. Ben Mee of Burnley scored the game's first goal in the 53rd minute before Michael Keane, Andrews Townsend and Demarai Gray scored for Everton to complete the comeback. Victory moves the Toffees to 4th on the league standings. And of course, Nigeria's Alex Iwobi came on late in the encounter. And our sports is back to Kenneth.
Thank you, Bade. The death has occurred of Alhaji Shehu Amborusar at the age of 86. He retired in 1990 after working as a civil servant in various parastatals of Sokoto State. The late Shehu Amborusar is survived by 3 wives, 26 children, 30 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. He has been buried in accordance with Islamic rites. The death has been announced of Mr. Christopher Olaleko Makinde at the age of 79. Late Makinde was a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria who retired from the Nigerian Television Authority NTA as Deputy Director of Finance. Burial rites held on the 16th and 17th of September in Ibadan. He is survived by a wife, children and grandchildren, among whom is Ayodeji Makinde of the NTA headquarters, Abuja. 108, let's quickly tell you that 108 inmates released from the Kabul Medium Security Custodial Center during Sunday's night's jailbreak have been re-arrested. The Public Relations Officer, Nigerian Correctional Service, Francis Enobere, who confirmed this via telephone, also explained that some escapees voluntarily returned. And that does it tonight on the NTA Network News. Thanks indeed for watching, but don't forget to join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. I am Kenen Ima Abudike. Good night.